I'd like to share with you today a phrase I keep hearing myself say more and more, especially as I get older. And I want to offer it to you as a sort of mantra to rouse whenever you find yourself encountering confusion in terms of what is the right choice to make. And I'll relate this to food in a moment. But the saying is, there's no right or wrong, there's only right now. And I find this coming up for me in all sorts of ways, in terms of what I say to my partner, how I parent my son, what I choose to focus on at work, and certainly just throughout the day as I take care of my body, whether it's how to move, how to rest, how to feed myself, how to find what else is going on in my body and my mind and my heart, and how to meet the needs that are there. There's no right or wrong, there's only right now. And I think this can be especially helpful for those of us who are working on a relationship with food, because we've all been raised in the culture and the beliefs and the values that there is a right way and a wrong way. Often we feel as if the right way is constantly changing, and so there's one right way and many, many, many wrong ways. And I think there's also this belief that if and when we find the right way, we won't feel like we're struggling so much. And so this little mantra of there's no right, there's no wrong, there's only right now, reminds us that what's right and wrong for each one of us is going to be different at all different points in time. What worked for us yesterday doesn't necessarily work for us today. I love when my yoga teacher talks about taking a pose with the body that rolled out the mat this morning, because it's not helpful to be thinking, oh, well, I was able to do this degree of that pose yesterday and then feel badly because I can't do it today. It's just different. We have all these ideas about better and worse and hierarchies and right and wrong, and often they really don't serve to orient us. They serve to confuse us. They distort our thinking process. They disconnect us with the information that will actually help us figure out what's right for us. And so if this rings true with you, you might consider saying it when you aren't sure if you're hungry. You aren't sure what to eat. You find yourself at the end of a meal and probably somewhere close to that feeling of enough, but wanting to continue to eat. Noticing that you're not physically hungry, but wanting to eat for some other reason. When you say these things to yourself, when you say there's no right or wrong, there's only right now, part of what you're doing is you're interrupting the momentum of automaticity. And so instead of being on autopilot, you're sort of snapping your fingers in a way to say, wait a second, what is happening right now? What is present in my body? What thoughts are present? What has changed? What am I feeling? And that can help you determine what you need. And don't think you're always going to get it right, in the sense that upon reflection, it's like, oh yeah, I got that. Because we can't judge ourselves in retrospect. We are always just doing our best. And so the more we practice this, the more we practice connecting with the present moment when we say there's no right or wrong, there's only right now, the more we'll practice interpreting whatever's there and making choices on that basis. And then if we discover, after the fact, after we eat something or after we choose to do something, that a different answer might have been better, that's just information. But just interrupting the momentum of the automatic behaviors, and also this sort of dissociative thinking that you kind of can't win because there's so many wrong answers and only one right answer. It's not a very useful way of thinking about things. So try this out in your own life. See what it does for you. See if it has any benefit or if you start to notice things a little bit different, and give it some time. Try to use this around the aspects of your relationship with food that you're working on right now, that you would really like to bring more understanding to. And maybe give it 2 weeks, a month, where you're practicing, noticing when you're at that point, saying this to yourself, and seeing what arises as a result of sort of clearing the space for you to notice what's happening in the present moment. There's no right, there's no wrong, there's only right now. And I'd love to hear what you discover. See you next time.